Have you ever wondered why some people seem calm in chaos, while others crumble under pressure? Do you ever catch yourself thinking things that don't serve you, yet you believe them anyway? What if the conversation you have with yourself is the most powerful force shaping your life? If you're someone seeking growth, peace, and clarity in a noisy world, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This space is for those committed to mastering the mind and living with purpose. Let's explore how Stoicism teaches us to reclaim our inner voice, and through it, our entire life. 1. Start the day with a gift. Each morning offers a quiet choice. As the sun rises, so too does the mind, stirring to life, full of possibilities. And yet for most people, that fragile moment is lost in noise. Alarms are silenced, only to be replaced by more noise, emails, notifications, endless scrolling. We rush into the day without a moment's pause, already consumed by the outside world. But the Stoic chooses differently. The Stoic opens his eyes and begins with 4 words that hold the power to change everything. Today is a gift. This isn't a motivational slogan or empty affirmation. It's a mental reset. It's a deliberate acknowledgement that life, this very day, is not guaranteed, not owed to us, not a repetition of yesterday. It is a singular, irreplaceable opportunity. Saying, "Today is a gift," rewires your approach to time. Suddenly, it's not just another Tuesday. It's not something to get through or survive. It becomes a canvas for meaning, a container for purpose. When you start the day with this perspective, everything shifts. The morning coffee isn't just caffeine. It becomes a ritual of awareness. The commute, the conversations, the tasks, they're no longer distractions or obligations, but experiences to be met with presence. The Stoics taught that each moment was a training ground for virtue, for practicing patience, kindness, clarity, and courage. And how can we train if we're not even awake to the opportunity? Gratitude, in this context, isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about recognizing what is real. It's the discipline of seeing the value in this breath, this chance this morning. It's about looking at your life, not through the lens of what's missing, but through the lens of what is already here. When you practice gratitude deliberately, it anchors you. It stops the reactive spiral. It clears the fog of entitlement. Even in difficulty, this mindset transforms your experience. When a Stoic faces hardship, he does not ask, "Why me?" He asks, "What can I do with this?" That shift begins in the morning. When you say, "Today is a gift," you are not denying life's struggles. You are embracing its possibilities. You're saying, "This day may not be easy, but it's mine to live well." The truth is, we don't know how many days we have left. The Stoics reminded themselves of this constantly, not to inspire fear, but to cultivate urgency and appreciation. Memento mori, remember that you will die, was not morbid, it was clarifying. When you begin each day aware of its value, you become less likely to waste it. So tomorrow morning, try this. Before you reach for your phone, before the demands of the world pull you away, pause. Say the words, "Today is a gift." Let that be your starting point. Let that awareness guide how you show up, how you speak, how you work, and how you treat others. Because this day, like every day, has never happened before and will never happen again. And that is a gift worth honoring. 2. You are not your thoughts. Have you ever had a thought so disturbing, so out of character, that you immediately questioned yourself? Maybe it was an angry impulse, a judgmental remark, or a moment of envy. You didn't act on it, but the thought alone made you uneasy. This is where many people get trapped. They confuse their passing thoughts with their identity. But Stoicism offers a liberating truth. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts are like weather patterns in the sky of the mind. Some drift gently like clouds, others arrive like storms. But just as the sky is not the storm, you are not the thought. This separation is crucial. The mind generates thoughts continuously, some wise, some foolish, some noble, some cruel. The Stoic discipline is not about eliminating thoughts. It's about choosing your response to them. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, constantly wrote reminders to himself to observe, to examine, to refrain from judgment. He didn't try to stop thoughts from arising. He worked to ensure they didn't control him. He understood that the mind could not be trusted blindly. It had to be trained, examined, and guided. His goal wasn't suppression. It was clarity. When you believe every thought, you become reactive. You chase desires that don't serve you. You dwell on fears that may never come true. You internalize guilt or shame for ideas that aren't even your conscious choice. But when you remember that you are not your thoughts, you become free. Free to choose. Free to observe. Free to let go. Stoicism teaches us to become the watcher of the mind, not its prisoner. This means cultivating space. When a thought arises, I'm a failure, or they don't respect me, or this will never work, you learn to step back. You examine, is this useful? Is it true? Does it help me act with virtue? If the answer is no, then let it pass. Like a cloud, like a car on the road, you don't need to stop it or chase it, just let it go. This practice doesn't happen overnight. It takes vigilance, but over time it builds a powerful inner calm. You stop reacting to every emotional spike. You stop being thrown around by mental noise. You learn to dwell in your center, where your values live, not in the turbulence of random thought. The great Stoics understood that clarity begins with awareness, not control, not repression, but awareness. By learning to separate your identity from your thoughts, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself. You become intentional. You act from reason and purpose, not impulse. And that is where true freedom begins, not by eliminating thoughts, but by choosing which ones are worth following. 3. Character is built in small moments. People admire strength. They want to be wise, disciplined, resilient. But these aren't traits you wake up with. They're not inherited. They're built slowly, quietly, repeatedly. Stoicism teaches that character is not made in grand moments of heroism, but in the small, daily decisions when no one is watching. Every action is a vote. Every choice is a brick. And over time, those bricks build a foundation. It's easy to wait for motivation, to think, one day I'll be the kind of person who wakes up early, who keeps their word, who stays calm under pressure. But Stoicism asks, why wait? Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That's the blueprint. Decide who you want to be, and then act like it, moment by moment. This means the path to strength is not glamorous. It's made in choosing discipline over ease, in telling the truth when lying would be easier, in showing up on time, in helping others even when you're tired. These moments are often overlooked by others, but they are seen by you, and they shape the story you tell yourself about who you are. In the gym, every rep builds muscle. You don't see it right away, but it accumulates. Character is the same. One day of honesty doesn't make you trustworthy, but 1,000 small acts of integrity do. One day of courage doesn't make you brave, but 1,000 moments of facing fear do. What matters is consistency, and what you do when no one's looking. The Stoics believed that virtue, excellence of character, was the highest good. Not success, not fame, not wealth. Character. Because with character, you can endure anything. With character, you can face loss, failure, even death, with grace. But without it, all external achievements are hollow. This is why Stoicism is a path of action, not theory. It's not about how much you know, it's about what you do. Knowing the right thing means nothing if you don't choose it when the moment comes, and those moments are happening all the time. The way you speak to a stranger, the way you treat someone who can't help you, the way you handle setbacks and delays. So, if you want to build character, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start with the next one. Do the hard thing, do the kind thing. Do the honest thing. Not for praise, not for rewards, but because each choice is a vote, and each vote makes you more of the person you've chosen to become. In the end, greatness isn't born. It's built, brick by brick, in the quiet moments no one sees. 4. Feel, but don't follow emotion. Emotion is not the enemy. It is a signal, a wave, a messenger of something deeper stirring within us. But the mistake most people make is confusing the message with the mandate. They assume that because they feel something strongly, fear, anger, jealousy, despair, they must act on it. The Stoics would tell you otherwise. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, once reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That strength is not found in suppressing emotion or pretending it doesn't exist. It is found in acknowledging its presence without allowing it to dominate your judgment. Imagine standing on the shore, watching a storm brew over the ocean. The waves rise and crash, but you don't dive in blindly. You observe, you prepare, you steady yourself. That's what emotional mastery looks like. It doesn't mean the storm isn't real. It means you choose not to be swept away by it. Feelings arise. They are part of the human experience. But to follow them without discernment is to hand over the wheel of your life to something fleeting, unstable, and often reactive. Anger flares up when we feel wronged. It can motivate us to stand up for ourselves or to set boundaries. But if we act out of blind fury, we may say or do things that create more harm than healing. Fear warns us of danger, but if we live by its rule, we may never take the leaps that lead to growth. Sadness reminds us of what matters, but to dwell in it too long can make us forget that we still have agency. The Stoic approach is not to deny these states, but to place them in the proper context. They are guests in the house, not the architects. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Emotional reactions are often magnified by the stories we tell ourselves, by assumptions, by unresolved pain, by habit. When you become aware of this pattern, you gain an edge. You don't suppress emotion, you step beside it. You ask, what is this feeling trying to teach me? Is it based in truth or assumption? What would the wise version of myself do right now, even while feeling this? True strength lies not in never feeling, but in feeling fully and still acting with principle. This is emotional courage. It's looking your anger in the eye and choosing not to shout. It's recognizing fear and still moving forward. It's acknowledging grief, but continuing to show up to life. In this, you become unshakable. You learn that emotions, while powerful, are not dictators. They are indicators. And you are not your feelings. You are the observer, the thinker, the actor. So when the next wave of emotion hits, pause, breathe. Remember, my strength is deeper than emotion. Let the feeling rise, pass through and inform you, but never let it drive. This is the essence of Stoic resilience, to feel everything but follow only reason. 5. The soul is your responsibility. Blame is a tempting refuge. It offers the illusion of escape, the comfort of pointing the finger outward. It's my parents' fault. Society let me down. Fate never gave me a chance. But to the Stoic, this is a trap, a seductive story that leads nowhere. The Stoic doesn't deny that life is hard or unfair, but they know that their soul, their mindset, choices and values, is theirs to govern. I am responsible for my soul. That's the creed of the philosopher warrior, a quiet, powerful truth. When Epictetus was born into slavery, he could have cursed the world and given up. Instead, he sharpened his mind and became one of the most respected thinkers in Roman philosophy. When Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire amidst war and plague, he didn't indulge in self-pity. He turned inward, wrote meditations to himself, and held fast to virtue. These men faced trials we can hardly imagine, but they never gave away their responsibility for who they became within those trials. Responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that happens. It means owning your response. It means understanding that while you can't always control your circumstances, you can always shape your character. Life will throw challenges your way, betrayals, losses, setbacks. But what you do with those experiences is what determines the quality of your soul. Your mindset, your grit, your integrity, that's the domain no one can enter without your permission. Think about how often we wait for someone else to rescue us. We hope a partner will complete us, a job will fulfill us, a mentor will guide us. But the Stoics remind us that the work of the soul cannot be outsourced. You can read books, listen to advice, seek inspiration, but in the end, you must wrestle with your own shadows. You must define your values. You must choose your way. No one else can do your inner work. That path is yours alone. And this truth is liberating. Because when you stop waiting to be rescued, you begin to reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the architect of your own character. Even if everything else is stripped from you, possessions, status, relationships, you still possess your reason, your will, your soul. And in that space lies a freedom that no one can touch. The Stoic doesn't seek to escape the world, but to rise within it. Not by blaming or retreating, but by meeting life head-on with discipline and purpose. You take ownership of your time, your energy, your mindset. You choose how to interpret events. You decide what kind of person you will be. That is your sacred responsibility, not anyone else's. And the more you own that truth, the stronger you become. So each day, remind yourself, the soul is my domain. I am responsible for how I think, how I act, how I grow. Not fate, not luck, not anyone else. You. This is not a burden. It is your birthright. And when you carry it with pride, no force in the world can shake who you are inside. The final authority is you in the end. Stoicism isn't about sounding wise. It's about living wisely. Your inner dialogue shapes your world, and when you take command of that voice, you don't just improve, you evolve. Remember, no external chaos can override internal clarity. Inner authority is the key to a resilient, meaningful life. If this message resonated with you, subscribe, and let's keep walking this path together, one mindful step at a time.